Fox Sports NFL analyst. I listened to him yesterday. It's Mark Sanchez joining us on a Monday. Yes, Mark Sanchez.
Stash, dude. Who's our guy here?
Yeah.
It's our other guest.
You know what? He came in hungry, and that's how it ended. Yeah, we didn't pay him.
So I figured it'd be somebody you were roasting.
So we were talking that in the NFC, we all kind of feel like we know who's good, and we think the Saints are one of them. And with Derek Carr, I have my questions about the staff, whatever. But you start looking at the NFC. We know Philadelphia can play. We know Dallas has guys. I think San Francisco will right the ship. Detroit tonight. Detroit's a good team. Seattle and Pete playing 1,000 miles an hour. They keep winning. New Orleans is the team where, like, what are they? So can we have an official?
After calling the game?
What are the Saints?
So I think they're about to get hot here. I think they're about to streak at the right time and gel at the right time. I'm fortunate enough to meet, remember Emeril Lagasse? Bam!
Yes.
So him and his son, I've done some charity work with them, and I was texting the son because he's a huge Saints fan. They're from the Big Easy from Louisiana. So I said, what's the deal with when you're making gumbo? Like, you know, it takes a little time, right? This isn't instant grits. And so I mentioned that on the broadcast, and we were going back and forth and texting about it. But the whole mix is in the roux. So it's the flour and the fat, and they got to get together and gel.
Right.
And that's everything, right, for your gumbo. And it doesn't happen like that. Well, a quarterback moves to a new franchise. I don't care how good he is. Tom Brady, Matt Stafford, it takes a little time. I mean, they were running Matt Stafford out of L.A. the year he won the Super Bowl.
Tom went 7-5
you know what I mean?
and
yes.
he was screaming at
at the
teammates.
break, and people were, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. Well, it takes time for this kind of stuff. And now they're at a crossroads where they had their mini bye. They lost a heartbreaker the week before on Thursday night, so they had 10 days to prepare for this next game against the Colts, and a game they should win. That if they're going to be the team they thought they were and run the NFC South, they should win that game because of what's gone on with the Colts circumstantially, whatever. Well, it's starting to happen, and it's still got to get a little better, but you Derek Carr, and he's in a tricky spot, right? Because the guys in Vegas or Oakland or whatever, like, they knew him. He grew up there. They know how he operates. They know his mannerisms. They know it's all about winning. It's never personal. So if he rips your head off, it's not not like you calling Coward as the person. I didn't like what you did on that play because that didn't help us win. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So he's still developing those relationships with young receivers, with guys coming back like Mike Thomas, the young receiver, and Chris Olave, Juwan Johnson, who was a receiver, now a tight end. I mean, Kamara missed part of the season. Jamal Williams is finally back. So this whole thing is starting to come together. We mentioned the roux, the flour, and the fat. It's gelling. I'm telling you, you're getting a good vibe from that team. And I think they did an excellent job using Taysom Hill to just take some pressure off, change it up in the red zone. They've had problems in the red zone, struggled a little bit, and he really opens up their offense and helps Derek Carr. It was really fun to watch.
Even I can watch certain players, Lamar Jackson, and go, wow, or Josh Allen, wow, stuff, size, electric, twitchy. And then you watch Joe Burrow, and you're like, how's he so great?
Good.
And there's got to be some secret sauce to it. You know, coach's kid, but a lot of you quarterbacks, dads, coached. When you watch him, what is it?
Man. I mean, he just doesn't flinch. He doesn't hesitate. Like, he knows when it's time to cut it loose, when it's time to fold him, know when to hold him, know when to fold him. You know what I mean? And he's made some incredible throws, and most importantly, he's healthy. They're traditionally a slow starting team. They did the same thing last year and the year before. They start kind of middle of the road, is this team for real? And then right around week 5, 6-ish, right after their Arizona game, boom, it happens. Joe Mixon gets involved. The receivers get healthy. Joe Burrow gets healthy. And what does he do? He extends some of these plays. I was shocked one of those plays didn't get called dead. It went for like 10 seconds. He got sacked like 3 times. Here it is. Oh, this is the scramble. Excuse me. But he had one of those plays where he's making the plays that we saw on the highlights the last couple years, taking advantage of one-on-one coverage, and he's making it work. He's manipulating defenders, and you can tell when these guys get hot, like, their body language shows it. He's got a couple smiles. He's talking a little smack. Like, he's in it, and a lot of that is due to his calf. Once it's healthy, he's good. He can create more space, extend those plays, and it's on. You give that guy that kind of time, you're out of luck.
So, Brock Purdy, you know, I said I would never call him very good, but I still thought yesterday he made good plays. Some of
Oh,
those
he made
throws
great plays.
Those are big time throws.
Big time throws. And he's done it all over. They're really hurting from not having Debo and not having Trent Williams. Like that's really
Those are
crippled them a little bit.
uniquely good players.
Yes, and so pivotal for this offense to really go. When you lose a couple of those pieces, it's just not the same attack. And it's not like they're one-dimensional, but you're missing that. And that's an extra beat to hold the ball in the pocket with Trent Williams as opposed to potentially somebody else. That's a couple extra carries off McCaffrey. When Debo's in the game, that's a couple free completions, potentially another couple first downs with Debo with yards after catch and after contact.
Right.
Like that's where you really miss those guys. And so they've lost some of that, and teams have been able to capitalize on it. And of course, he turns the ball over. I don't care who you are. You turn the ball over a couple times, it's just, your chances of winning. You watch on the, those percentage meters of chances to win the game. As soon as you turn it over, it just skyrockets the other direction. And so, some of these things are like, the strip fumble. Like when you exit the pocket, one defensive lineman's high, somebody's low. So if you get a free lane out, you better check the rear view mirror. You know what I mean? You got to tuck that thing tight. And, it's just a couple physical, easy, fixable mistakes, and they're going into bye week, so they got some time to get healthy.
So Patrick Mahomes had the flu. There's no way you didn't have it multiple times. You guys play in the fall and winter. If one guy in the room gets it, the whole locker room does. But I do think it's bigger than that. First, I think Sean has sort of solved Russell. Russell's playing complementary football with a good run game. But with Mahomes, it comes down to this. He made a good throw to Sky Moore, dropped. He made good throws in the first half. This receiving core, if Kelsey's not in the end zone, they struggle to score. They had one great half. So I look at them, and I think it's easy to go, he was sick. The whole league's sick, half the league in November.
Everybody's hurt, everybody's sick.
Mark, this offense is not the come-from-behind juggernaut it was. It doesn't look like it to me.
Yeah, I think they're just in like that, a little bit of a rut, kind of mid-season-ish. I think those things kind of get worked out with some of these players. Remember, Kadarius Toney got run out of New York last year and then comes up with some huge plays down the stretch and in the Super Bowl. Like, if there's a coaching staff and a group that you would put your faith in to figure it out and kind of play your way out of a slump, I'd say it's Kansas City. I trust Andy Reid. I trust Patrick Mahomes. And these guys are going to figure it out. But right here, you see drops like that.
That's a good throw.
And what do you do as a quarterback, right? You got to remind them, just like shooters. You keep shooting, just like batters, and you're in a slump. You got to keep swinging, dude. I'm coming back to you with the ball. Ball's coming your way. That was like one of the first things I would say to a receiver. If they dropped one or two ball, hey, I'm coming right back to you. So get ready. You're going to convert a third down for us. So be sharp.
Yeah.
Just to remind them, like, you're good, dude. You're my option. You're like my number one. You know what I mean? You got to talk to these guys. And that's the beauty of this position. You're part coach, you're player, you're a little bit of a psychologist with these players because you can't rip everybody's head off. Not everybody responds to that. You can't you can't air out these guys. You know what I mean? Like certain guys can handle it, certain guys can't. They'll fold up and then you lose them for the whole game or a season.
He's also Michael Jordan.
Exactly.
When Michael rips at you, you shrink.
Same thing. Yeah, Michael, Kobe, like that's a certain attitude in how you talk to players, but that communication is imperative for these quarterbacks of bringing these young guys along, bringing new receivers along, and just reminding them, ball's coming your way, dude. That was like one of the first things I say to a guy who had a drop, it's coming right back to you. Get ready.
So usually if a team has to draft a quarterback, Matt LaFleur has one of the last jobs where you got a head coaching job, and it was a really good team.
Oh, man.
Okay, you look at Minnesota. That tight end is excellent. Jordan Addison is crushing. Justin Jefferson comes back. Their left tackle is the highest graded left tackle in pro football. I know people in Minnesota today are crushed, and so is Kirk. I think they're going to move to a quarterback. This operation offensively, this is like it feels like Matt LaFleur to Green Bay. Like, those are the receivers I get, the tight end, the left tackle.
I agree. It's like, what are you going to do? Okay, you go through some of their planning. Like, what's the plan moving forward? Are you going to play the kid you got and bring in a veteran presence, kind of like the Jets did when Rodgers went down? You bring in Simeon, play Zach. If Zach had played terrible to this point, I bet they'd potentially make a switch, So are you going to do something like that and bring in another veteran, maybe a Colt McCoy who has familiarity with Kevin O'Connell in Washington, or somebody like that, put him on the practice squad, ramp him up, have him ready to play in 3 weeks, but you go with your young guy from BYU? Or do you go make a move? Do you try and steal Sam Darnold? When they're in bye week, go make a move before tomorrow at 4 p.m.? Like, you better go now and you better be ready to leverage something. You're going to have to give up some draft capital for stuff like that. So you go try and get Sam, you're giving up picks either next year or the year after. The one that I haven't heard anybody talk about, I haven't looked as closely, but what about Cooper Rush? They got Trey Lance already. They got 3 in that room. Maybe they'd be willing to ditch him for a pick. I don't know, just to keep it together and then sign a veteran, because you're not going to go get Matt Ryan or Phillip Rivers. You know what I mean? Like,
let me throw something at you. The future favors the bold. So
isn't that a slogan?
I think so.
Wasn't it for like Bitcoin though?
Good line.
Oops.
I got Matt Damon in trouble. Okay, I'll just throw this out. You got an offensive coach, a great tight end, unbelievable left tackle, and Jordan Addison is the best rookie receiver. You get a 1 for Justin Jefferson.
Get rid of him?
You're going to have to pay him here pretty quick. And you've already got an emerging star at wide receiver. And another receiver, I forget, is it Osborne, the other kid I like?
KJ.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I got a tight end to start. Okay,
So then
I get 2 firsts.
I don't know.
So I get 2 firsts,
Then it becomes Stephon Diggs, and now you're hoping Addison becomes Jefferson. It's just like a shuffle.
and I have 2 firsts because you're getting a first for you may get 2 firsts for Justin Jefferson. With the emergence of Jordan Addison, I now get a quarterback with one of my picks, and then I go get either an edge rusher or another receiver. We know, Mark. We know.
So then this season is done, you're saying?
Absolutely done.
Oh, I still think there's meat on the bone there.
What?
You got to go get somebody to play, at least play it out this year. And it makes your decision with Kirk easier. It's a horrible thing, and I hate it for Kirk. But this kind of helps. If they were thinking of moving on, I'm not saying they were, but if they were, this kind of helps you make that decision. Now go find somebody to try and salvage the year. I don't know. I don't know, dude. Dump the season and this could be Kevin O'Connell. You get rid of Jefferson. Are you kidding me? Those people in Minnesota, they're nice people in the Midwest, but they're coming for him.
I love O'Connell. I love the tight end. I love Jordan Addison.
No.
I love the left tackle. I'm saying you're going to have to pay all these guys. I can go find a receiver.
But everybody, you figure out.
I can't find a left tackle like that. That kid is kid's the best left tackle maybe in the game.
Yeah, no, he's really good.
All right.
I don't know if you dump it all like that. Fire sale? I don't know.
It's just one guy. You got me selling the whole team off. This is what happens. That skeleton's what happened to talk show hosts who don't have bold takes. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.